So glad, as always, you could join us. I am with Greg Engert, beer director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a James Beard Award nominee. The group includes the two Rusticos in Ballston and Alexandria. You've also got the Partisan and Red Apron in Penn Quarter, Iron Gate and DuPont Circle. Greg, it is always good to see you.
You too, Brennan.
What do we have on tap this week?
This week we have a very special release from Allagash Brewing Company, our friends in Portland, Maine. It's called Belfius, and it's a beer that I think they came out with for the first time in 2014, but mega limited release. You had to get it at the brewery. Now it's 2018, and they're releasing Belfius for the very first time in a still limited but more national release. So a really amazing beer. And what makes it most amazing is that it has some of their spontaneously fermented beer as part of the blend.
Ooh, very inviting nose.
So this is loosely, the style here is called bière de coupage, which means a style of beer that's a blend of top fermented ale and either mixed fermentation or spontaneous beer. So in Belgium, they used to blend, and still sometimes do blend, either Belgian ales of some kind or saisons with lambic. And lambic is spontaneously fermented beer from the Pajottenland surrounding Brussels. Allagash, since 2010, 2011, I think, have been experimenting with their own spontaneous beers. They have a cool ship that they use to cool off the wort overnight, letting the spontaneous fermentation begin. They age the lambic style beer in oak. And this is the first time that any of their spontaneous beer has been kind of more generally released. Otherwise, you have to go and get their cool ship beers at the brewery. So very special.
This is dynamite. God, really good. Now, let's recap for people what spontaneous fermentation means.
Yes, totally.
Because you have a cool ship here.
We do too,
we
exactly.
are a Blue Jacket.
Right.
But you don't add, it's coming just from what's in the air.
Right. So there's an opportunity for fermentation to happen at all times. There's wild yeasts and bacteria swimming around our heads unseen, always looking for sugar sources. So if you leave a sugar source out, it will start fermenting. That's why if you forget to cork your wine overnight, it's going to taste like vinegar the next day, because acetobacter, bacteria in the air, gets in there and turns the sugar into acid, vinegar. So that can always happen. Over time, brewers have learned how to keep these wild yeasts at bay because they don't, and bacteria, they don't want that lack of control. They use stainless steel tanks. They use single cell cultures of yeast that they pitch in. But some styles of beer remain that are spontaneously fermented, and lambic is one of those styles. So many American brewers have started making their versions of lambic. They're not actually lambic unless they come from Belgium and from the Pajottenland. And how they do that is by leaving the wort out, which is the unfermented sugar water, overnight in cool weather. So all those yeast and bacteria jump in, they start their work, then they ship all of that wort into barrels where it continues to ferment over time. This is 40% of that spontaneous beer. The other 60% is Allagash Saison, just dry and a little bit rustic, peppery, lemony quality to it, and then it's re-fermented in bottle. But like I said, you'd have to go and get Belfius there before at the brewery. They have Cool Ship Resurgam, Cerise, Balaton, and Red. All of those can only be purchased at the brewery. So this is kind of, for those of you who can't get up to Portland for those small batch releases, this is an opportunity to taste spontaneously fermented beer from Portland, Maine.
Amazing. Think about it, beer lovers. Beer ingredients are floating all around your head at all times. Just really like cool. The radio waves I receive from Jupiter. Everything's out there.
And last thing about this too, which is fun, is that, Belfius, the name, comes from, if you work at Allagash, this is kind of a plug for working at Allagash. Rob Todd, who's a close friend of mine, he's the founder. He started Allagash back in 1995 and also went to Middlebury College, my alma mater.
Homer.
He has, he and Jason Perkins, who's the head brewer at Allagash, take their employees to Belgium once a year, every year on your 5th anniversary. So if you work at Allagash for 5 years, you get to go to Belgium with these guys and meet the brewers and go around and have a great time. So there's a bank in Belgium called Belfius, and there's ATMs, say Belfius all the time, and that's what they use to fund their trip when they're over there. They're constantly taking money out of the Belfius ATM. So that's what this is in honor of. And even if you look at the label, you can see this is the skyline of Ghent, one of those amazing cities in Belgium that you'd visit if you went with Allagash.
Just
Very
like
cool.
when you took me to Burger King. No, we've never been. Nothing against Burger King.
We're going to name a beer
Nothing
Burger
against
King at
Burger
Blue
King.
Jacket.
Well, king of beers. Not that. Never mind. What would you pair it with?
The lemon peppery, spicy quality here with that really just beautiful, soft acidity on the palate makes me think of Thai food in general. I think this would be awesome with that.
It's only taken me 6 years, but that was my first guess.
Yeah, it'd be really great pad thai, drunken noodles, larb gai, papaya salad. I think it would be wonderful. That's a little bit herbal too, which is always great. And then on the other side though, since this has so much going on, I think it'd be great with just a very simply prepared grilled fish, pan-seared halibut, or even just like a roast chicken, arugula salad on the side, and some roasted vegetables. I think it would bring a lot of flavor to that.
Dynamite. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly, and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another beer of the week.